Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. With me, as always, is my best friend, Scott Bogman, and we're here previewing Sunday Night Football. That's right, they gave us another one of these because y'all made the Thursday Night Football preview so damn popular. It's probably the most popular show on the YouTube channel, so I just want to shout out everybody who watches that show, and I want to shout out Scott Bogman and myself, because it was a pretty good day. We got the Javonte Williams touchdown, cha-ching, the first half Jalen Hurts touchdown, cha-ching, and the SGP hit. That's right out of the gate, week one. Therefore, I'm renaming it, Scott Bogman. It's no longer the SGP. From now on, every show, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, will now be turned into that segment, the SG Joey P. And it's probably the last one I'll hit all year, right, Boggs? That's pretty much the way it goes.
Yeah,
plus 700, plus 700. Let's go. Hopefully you bet it. I did. It was great.
Didn't we get the report that like Vegas has made $4 billion in the first quarter on parlays alone? Right? Like
parlays are the devil. But again, what did we
when
talk
they
about?
Hit? They're great.
Super fun.
They're amazing.
But the thing is, I think the process is everybody adds too much to it, right? You're always adding, like, people, I've got 17 leg parlay. Stop doing that. Even 3 is pushing the limit. And I pushed the limit. It was the first week, but I felt really good about all 3 of those things, right? The Jalen Hurts touchdown thing, that was like just a gimme. If you can find a gimme and find one other thing that makes sense, that's good. And look, even today's only a 2-legger. That's it. I'm not mucking around here.
Yeah.
It's early. It's week one. And this is a great game. We got a great Sunday Night Football game. This is premium stuff here.
I think the best way to build those single game parlays, Joey, is probably, at least in college football. Well, I do my BP college football show. Shout out. You guys should check that out as well. But the touchdown calls, the rushing touchdown calls, when it's a good team playing a bad team early, that lead back is almost always going to score a touchdown. So we like those.
That's what I'm talking about. Look, and
Hurts is the lead back at the goal line, even over Saquon.
I was going to say, that's the thing. He's the lead back when you get down to it. He had a great game, too. Jalen Hurts, just terrific performance by him. All right, as always, too, shout out to our sponsor, Hard Rock Bets. We'll talk more about them later on, but great lines over at Hard Rock Bets. They are our new sponsor of the show this year, and we're excited to have them on board with us. And we're also giving away free stuff. Signed Alvin Kamara Saints helmet. So if you want to win this from pristineauction.com, here's how you do it. It's very simple. You're going to go right now, and you're going to go to bettingpros.com/contest, complete the form, and either download the Betting Pros app, leave a review of the Betting Pros podcast, or subscribe to our social media channels at Betting Pros on X, on TikTok, and Betting Pros NFL on the IG. The more actions you complete, the more entries you receive, and we'll be announcing the winner right here on the channel. So subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel, ring the bell till it goes ding, like this video, and you just might win yourself an Alvin Kamara Saints autographed jersey. Excuse me, helmet, not jersey. There you go. Sorry about that. Maybe we'll get, who knows? Maybe we'll get a jersey too. Helmet from pristineauction.com. All right, Boggs. So this is a marquee matchup. We're in a big one here. I like this. I'll Sunday night, the dust settles, and you're going to give me Ravens and Buffalo. It's in Buffalo. I'm so glad Hard Knocks is over because it was so effing boring. And it just, like, whatever store-bought vanilla ice cream tastes like, that's the way Hard Knocks and the Buffalo Bills are to me. And look, I love Josh Allen. I love Lamar Jackson just a little bit more. So this one's real tight. So right now on Betting Pros, the consensus line is you're getting plus 1.5 at minus 125 on Baltimore. Same thing, plus 1.5 over on Buffalo at minus 105. The total ranges from 50 to 52.5, depending on the book you're at. And then, of course, the money line, you're getting minus 108 is the best number on Baltimore, plus 108 the best number on Buffalo. So for me, I'm keeping this real simple. I'm looking towards the over here at 50.5. I just think it's a little on the lower side. These are 2 incredibly talented quarterbacks who can really make plays with their legs too, extend drives. And when you're taking Buffalo weather out of the equation for me, it makes it easier to score points. I know it's week one. I know it's early. I know all the blah, 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 whatever. These 2 teams know each other. Baltimore has a bad taste in their mouth. I actually rewatched that game. They were replaying it this week, and I watched the last. They should have won, man. I'm watching that game back, and I'm watching Andrews get that ball punched out, and I'm watching I'm like, man, watching that drive with Derrick Henry down the field, once it was in the third quarter when he scored there, and you're going, man, Baltimore's really got this in hand now, and it just kind of slipped out of their fingers literally at the end. I think Baltimore is pissed off, bad taste in their mouth. I think they're going to show up, but I'm not betting on them. I'm just betting on the total. Boggs, walk me through your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I first of all, I think the over is the best bet. So
Okay.
I'm with you on that. That is the number one. If you're going to take a bet in this game, I think I'm going with the over as well. I will offer a side as well. I like Baltimore, and I think it's for the reasons that you said. They should have won the second game that they played in the, I believe it was the divisional round. But in week 4, they played, and Baltimore won 35-10. And in these 2 games, they outgained Buffalo 843 to 509, and they ripped them through the run game. I believe that the Bills' offseason, because of these games, and, Philly is the champs, and they run very well. Kansas City can run well. Like, you need to stop the run, and you need to pass rush. So they spent so much draft capital, and in free agency, they went out and got 2 defensive linemen. They got Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi to help stop the run, and then they drafted Deion Walker and T.J. Sanders. And I think these moves were to stop Baltimore specifically. They could not stop Derrick Henry at all last year. No. So Deion Walker, enormous. And T.J. Sanders had one of the best run grades in college football last year. So I think that's the plan. They were 25th in run defense grade on PFF last year. They were 13th, however, in rushing yards allowed, but in losses, they were allowed 142.8 on average. Most of those were on the road, but you know what Baltimore is going to do. They are going to be a run-first team. Buffalo's going to try and stop it. It's going to be a good one. And I think if Derrick Henry is stopped, you go to Lamar through the air, and I think that is actually a better advantage for Baltimore than running the ball with Derrick Henry.
All right, look, my lean is also Baltimore if you're looking for a side on this game, but I'm just taking the over. I think 50.5 is just a little too low. I would have set this, in my brain, it's 52, 53, somewhere in that range. So I know people say that doesn't seem like a lot. It is. It's a big difference, those extra 1 or 2 points. So
feels like a 31-28 to me.
Well, look, we've also seen Baltimore in primetime get into those pissing contests before, right, with the Cincinnati Bengals time after time, right? Sometimes these big AFC teams, they get in these pissing contests with each other on primetime games.
Think of the Thursday night game, right? Like, you've been scripting these drives for the entire offseason. So your first 2 drives should work in this game. They did for Dallas and Philly. And then obviously in the second half, you had the lightning delay and all that stuff. That game did end up going under, but I felt ridiculous at halftime. There were 31 points on the board at halftime. I was like, I'm definitely losing this bet. And it still went under. So
it stayed. That lightning delay.
That was weird. There. So
you know what? Of course, you know me. I'm old. I went to bed. I'm like, fuck, I'm not staying awake for this. I'm already tired. It was a long day. I'm like, I know what's going to happen is these guys have flights to catch. So when they come back, this is going to be an S show, and it was. And I was just like, I'm over it. And I was right. I woke up the next morning and went, look, it's the same score I went to bed with.
CeeDee Lamb left his hands in the locker room after that lightning delay. So,
but that's tough. Football players aren't used to that, where you gotta have the big hour and then you gotta come back and play. Like this, it's not something they're used to. Get out of the rhythm of the game too. And we're in our rhythm already to start the year. So we're gonna get to the props. We're gonna get to the touchdown calls. We're gonna get to the same game parlay. Before we get to any of that, again, we want to announce our sponsor of the show, Hard Rock Bet. Everybody knows the Hard Rock brands, the hotels, the casinos. And now the sports book. That's right. It's like Spaceballs the movie, right? Spaceballs the breakfast cereal. And now we've got Spaceballs the sports book. No, we've got Hard Rock Bet, and it's the only legal sports book in Florida. Arizona, it's in already. Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. And every single day, more states are launching. So get in while the getting's good. You can also play Hard Rock Bet's online casino if you're in Jersey like me. And from here on out, you're going to see us, all the lines we're talking about, these are Hard Rock Bet lines here on the program. As we gear up for NFL season, Hard Rock Bet got a special offer for all of our listeners. Bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets if you win. So head over to Hard Rock Bet right now, sign up, make your first deposit today, and go win some money. Let's get to the props here, Boggs. Let's start with our boy Lamar Jackson. All right, so Lamar Jackson here, over under 237.5 passing yards. Where do you want to go for Lamar?
We're going to go over this one. This one feels like a shootout, as we alluded to before. He had over 250 yards in the passing yards in the playoff game against Buffalo, and he hit this in 9 games last season. And like I said, I think Buffalo is building towards trying to stop the run. I think that is the purpose of these signings. Now, Hoyt and Ogunjobi both suspended to start the year, so the rookies are going to see a decent amount of snaps. But I think Buffalo is going to do a decent job trying to wrangle this run up, and that's why you have to push it to Lamar. And I think that's a good thing for Baltimore. I think people think that Lamar is not good at passing the ball. He's very good. He threw 40 touchdowns last year.
40 touchdowns last year. How many picks did he have? Like
still
7?
The narrative. It's still the narrative.
What was the interception line?
It was 40 to 4 or 40 to 6.
4, right? It was ridiculous. I mean, come on.
I mean, look.
Stop it.
And they drafted Harrison, and he's not playing in this game. Their first-round pick, a corner. So, the secondary is rough in Buffalo right now, and I think that it's going to be – that is the way to beat Buffalo, is to outscore them. And I think you're going to see Lamar try to do that. So let's go with the over 237.5 passing yards for Lamar here.
I like that, too, because I think a lot of people automatically they see Lamar on the board, and they just go right to the rushing yards all the time. But to your point, too, you make a great point about, look, they've tried to fortify with the kids now. The defensive line, they're trying, again, whether or not it works against Derrick Henry and the Baltimore Ravens, that's a different story. But I think it's a very smart pivot here, and it's a very non-chalk kind of a move here. I like it a lot. Let's get to Mark Andrews. If anybody needs a redemption story from the last game against the Buffalo Bills, it's Mark Andrews. So let's write a tale of redemption for Mr. Andrews, shall we?
Yeah, I mean, look, Mark Andrews went to my high school, but then went to Oklahoma, so I have mixed emotions about my guy. He's also on Baltimore, who I don't like. Right? So
that's 2 out of 3.
I know.
That's 2 strikes against them already.
Here, we're going over 45.5 because there's going to be no likely in this game, and Mark Andrews is going to be one of the main targets. Like I said, I think we focus more on passing in this game if you're Baltimore. And I think, like you said, there's just nothing better to do for this guy than to have him go out and, like, if he could score the game-winning touchdown, that's the best thing that could happen in this game. Doesn't make up for what happened in the playoffs, obviously, but it would be a little bit of redemption. So I think we see Mark Andrews involved quickly, and he's not going to start this year like he did last year coming off that car wreck, and he had that slow start, and that was probably underreported, as we found out. Looking at what he did in the back half of the season was much, much better. So I think we get fully healthy, normal Mark Andrews, and hopefully doesn't drop a pass to end the game this time.
From week 7 on, he had 10 touchdowns. That's more than any other tight end. He was actually tight end 4 in fantasy from that time on, too. So just putting it out there, everybody. What are you going to do when you get down to the goal line and you've got to worry about Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson? This is why Mark Andrews got 1 million touchdowns in the second half last year. His number, by the way, for anytime touchdown score, plus 175 in some spots, plus 170.
Might hear about that later.
Maybe. I'm just saying. Just interesting, too. That's pretty low for a tight end, especially. You don't see that very often. So, all right, let's go to another one here. Let's talk about Keon Coleman, another guy who was, I think, a disappointment last year, I think, around the world. We would all agree on that. Second year, maybe things get a little better. Maybe they don't. Keon Coleman, how do we start with him in week 1 in this contest?
I'm very excited for 2 Buffalo second-year guys. Keon Coleman's number 1. Cole Bishop, number 2, the safety. I think Cole Bishop's going to be a great safety. But Keon Coleman last year, we know Sean McDermott is notoriously rough on rookies, right? Doesn't like to play them, doesn't like to start them. He wants them to develop and then get on the field. So he was rough on Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman was also late to a meeting earlier in the year, which does not sit well with McDermott. So he's in the doghouse after that. Then he had that wrist fracture. It was a weird year for Keon Coleman, but I think he comes in healthy this year, gained a little bit of respect for taking responsibility for his mistakes with Sean McDermott. And this dude had an ADOT of 15.4 last year. His longest reception in this game is 19.5. And listen, I understand I didn't hit the George Pickens one. He had that wrapped up in the first quarter, and he got pass interfered. He drew the flag, but they didn't go back to him on a deep route. Keon Coleman needs like 2 or 3 targets to get this, I feel like. 19.5 is going to be easy for him. We know that the Ravens' problem in the secondary was getting beat deep last year. That's why they brought in a guy like Malachi Starks to try to cut that off. So I'm excited to see this matchup, but I just think that longest reception for 19.5. And let's not forget, if they hit him short, this is a dude that is fantastic with the ball in his hands. At his size, he returned kicks and punts at Florida State. So he's great with the ball in his hands, and his ADOT is over 15 yards already. I think this one, as long as he gets the targets, should be an easy hit.
Side note, I'm a huge Starks fan. I really like Starks.
He's a good player.
A great pickup, but that's what the Ravens do, right? This is why
yes,
they're in the playoffs every year.
It's so annoying, Joe. All they do is sit and take the best player available every time, and it works.
they're always picking between like 25 and 30, and they're like, who's the best player? Yeah, we'll just take that guy.
Well, that guy was 12 on our board, and we're at 25. Yeah, we'll take him. Yeah, we'll take Kyle Hamilton. Sure, we'll take Tyler Linderbaum way late.
It's just crazy.
Sure, we'll take Lamar Jackson. Queen when you take Terrell Edmonds instead, yes.
Remember I took Patrick Queen that one year too. Remember he like slipped all the way down. I was like, Jesus, like, why did he make it that far?
Patrick Queen was probably the only mistake they made, and then the Steelers made a mistake.
Yeah, but at the time, nobody thought it was a mistake.
No, I used top 10 prospect.
So at the time, everyone's like, "Oh my God, how'd that happen?" But like, it's just what they do. It's how they run their board there. All right, let's talk about Derrick Henry, because the usage here out of the gate is going to be interesting because it's going to be a long schedule. They're going to be playing obviously well into January. This Ravens team, we all think they're my Super Bowl pick. I've already been on all the shows talking about it, but this is a tough open to the season. They play the Bills, then they go home for an in-division game against the Browns, followed by at home against the Lions, and then on the road against the Chiefs, and then back home against the Texans. So again, this is not the easiest schedule here. So they're going to have to make sure that they, I think, are just a little bit careful with the workload. I'm not saying this game isn't important. It is. This is a tiebreaker kind of situation game. I think Baltimore wants to go out there and win. But how does this affect Derrick Henry and his usage in this contest?
Yeah, to me, I feel like everything you said is true. And at the forefront of the season, and he hasn't hit this total in the last two openers. And I think it's you kind of want to ratchet Derrick Henry back early in the season to have him there for the long run, because where he makes his money is at the end of games, burning out the clock, and going against those tired linebackers that don't want to hit anymore. And now here comes Derrick Henry running at you like a bowling ball, and you have to get in front of him and hit him. So, it works best in the weather late in the season. So I think that, like I said, Buffalo's focus is going to be to stop Derrick Henry because they got embarrassed that first week. They give up over 200 rushing yards to the Ravens. So I think that is going to be their game plan. They're going to be focused in on stopping Derrick Henry, and they're going to force Baltimore to pass. So to me, I think Derrick Henry is under this total because I think it's closer. And when you get in the fourth quarter, if you're playing from behind or you're playing in a tight game, you're going to pass the ball a little bit more, in my opinion. So I'm going to go under the 17.5 rush attempts for Derrick Henry in week 1.
All right, next up we got James Cook for our last of the props. We're going to talk about the rushing attempts, 13.5 for him. You're going over or under that?
I'll go over this one. I think this one is a bit too low. James Cook just got the bag, right? So it should be, hey,
follow the money, bro. Follow the
wheels
money.
Up. Let's give this dude the football a bunch, right? And the time of possession leader won this game both times last season. So I think you're going to see Buffalo want to run the ball, want to control the clock, wear that defense out, and keep that offense that is very potent on the sideline. I think that should be the plan for the Bills in this game. And he isn't irreplaceable like Henry had. Like, we do have a good reason for Derrick Henry maybe being under his, first of all, his total is 4 carries higher than James Cook. James Cook does have a good backup like Ray Davis, but he just got the money. He isn't irreplaceable. They could go to Ray Davis, who I think is not a downgrade to James Cook really at all. So I think he gets a bunch of carries to start the season. So 13.5, I think might just be a little bit too low for Cook.
Now remember, don't be a tool. Use the tools. Go download the BettingPros app and use the tools like the prop bet cheat sheet to find more props that you can wager on this weekend. In all of the games, go to bettingpros.com/props or just download the app, you silly goose. That's what you do because that's what everybody does now. Everything's on the apps right now. So you can get daily prop bet values based on projections. You find the best props for all of passing, rushing, receiving, stat categories. Everything is on there. You can even just hyper-target games specifically to find your favorite props. Again, prop bet cheat sheet, one of the many incredible tools at Betting Pros on the app. Again, 3.0 just dropped last week. Go check it out if you have not. Sync your sports books for free. Bet smarter, not harder. All right, it's what you all been waiting for. Let's get to our new favorite segment on the show, the newly coined, not the SGP. No. Same game parlays are done. We're doing the SG Joey P. And this one's only 2 legs. Now, I talked to you on Thursday, didn't I, about let's pace ourselves slowly, right? It's week 1. Can't get crazy. The more variance we add, the worse the returns become, right? The more variance we add, the more hotels they build. And I want Hard Rock to build lots of hotels, okay, because I love them. They're a sponsor of the show. But still, I want to help you win some money. So we're going to do the same thing process-wise that we did on Thursday night with Jalen Hurts, which was Jalen Hurts was minus money to score a touchdown because you knew it was going to happen at some point. So what did we do? We turned it around and cut it in half. and we flipped it from minus money to plus money. So let's do the same thing with Derrick Henry. First touchdown score, too much. How about just anytime touchdown in the first half of this game? Announce your presence with authority. Try to stop, as Bogman said, these drives that they've been working on to open the season. They've had a ton of practice time. Derrick Henry is going to be ready, fresh legs out of the gate. So you put that together, that's plus 165. So you go from minus money, you flip it to plus money just by cutting the game in half. And then you add in Rashad Bateman, under 36.5. There's so many reasons why Rashad Bateman's number is too high. I don't even want to get into them because I don't want to make the show run long. 36.5 is a lot for Rashad Bateman to come down with. Okay, we've got more guys in there. We'll see what Hopkins can do. We already know Mark Andrews is going to be a big part of this game, Zay Flowers. But Lamar Jackson, his evolution as a QB, Boggs, and you alluded to it earlier, has really come a long way. He's finding the open guy. And look, sometimes that might be Bateman. But I don't trust Rashad Bateman in week 1 to go over this number. I think it's ridiculous. So again, this is very boring. It's an under on the receiving yards, 36.5. It's a first half anytime touchdown score for Derrick Henry. You put these two boring ass things together along with my over, right? So we're adding that third thing, which I already said the over is where I want to live. It's plus 605. So those are the three things. But if you want to just tear it down a little bit, just do the other two. You can do the other two too. You don't have to add in the over as well. You can take some of that variance out of it if you want to do that. That's perfectly fine. Boggs, what do you think about this combination here for this game?
I like it. I would play this, and the one that I would worry about, I feel like, is Rashad Bateman possibly going over, because like I said, I think the Bills are going to try to force the Ravens to pass, and there's no likely in this game. But like you said, they add DeAndre Hopkins. So where is Rashad Bateman in the pecking order now? Is he?
We don't know.
He's probably 4. Honestly,
yeah,
and
Justice
touching
Hill
the
work
ball
a little bit, like
touching the ball, he's
6th
because Lamar is
exactly.
1. Then we have Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. It's going to be Isaiah Likely, and then DeAndre Hopkins. Is
Likely going to
well.
suit up for this game?
No, but in most
later
cases,
on, yeah.
But okay, so put him at 5 or 6. Like, he's just low in the pecking order, so he has to make a big play, I think, to get this. And that could happen. Like that could be something that burns you, but you have to admit that. But I think most weeks, specifically this week, I'm not too afraid of Rashad Bateman.
So once again, if you want to pull it out of the third leg, you're going to get the Derrick Henry anytime first half touchdown score and Rashad Bateman under 36.5. You can get the plus 346. So I'm going to let you guys choose your own adventure here. All right. I'm telling you, these are both. If you want to just take the safe route with the 2-leg, it's plus 346. If you want to add in that over on the total, it jumps to 605. It almost doubles. So everyone gets to choose their own adventure here. However, if I'm right on the 2-leg, I'm going to call it a victory because that is my OG original thing. And if I get both right, forget it. Like, it's just we might never come back and do another show again.
Annoying now, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Speaking of me being annoying, let's call some more touchdowns. I already gave mine away. Derrick Henry, first half touchdown score. I love that. I think you can look at James Cook also as a touchdown scorer because, my God, he scored so many last year. But the problem is you're not getting a great number. It's almost even money, plus 100 for James Cook. So I don't love that one as much. But the Derrick Henry one, I'm sticking with. Boggs, where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mark Andrews. You mentioned it before, plus 175. And this is just like, if there's ever a team that's going to design a touchdown to go to a player after a disaster like last season, I think it's this game. You want to exercise those demons very quickly if you're Mark Andrews. And so I think that they probably have a bunch of goal line stuff designed for Mark Andrews this week, and I think he gets in the end zone at least once.
There you have it, everybody. So those are the props. Those are the sides of the games, the SG Joey P's, the touchdown calls. What more do you need? I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything except maybe subscribing to the channel. Of course, we're giving away that Alvin Kamara helmet. And again, if you need more help building a same game parlay, the best way to do it is to go and use the tools, bettingpros.com/parlay on the app. That's where you can go. It'll give you the correlations too. We talk about building narratives for games. Well, if you're building a narrative, it'll tell you which narratives string together in the best possible way. It's an incredible tool. I've used it a bunch last year. Really cool stuff. They just came out with it last year. And it's a great way to build, again, 2, 3 at the most. Don't go crazy. This is how you lose. We don't want to lose here. but that's what you got to do, and nobody loses whenever you subscribe to the channel. Like this video, drop your comments. I want to know who's scoring a touchdown in the Sunday Night Football game. Tell me who your picks are, and of course, don't forget to support our sponsor of the show, Hard Rock Bets. Bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when you do. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Scott Bogman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy this banger of a Sunday night game. Woo! It's good.
Let's go.